So let's talk about what happened with the loss of 19 members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots during the Yarnell Hill fire in 2013. The Granite Mountain Hotshots' initial assignment on June 30th, 2013, the day of the disaster, was to go to the heel of the fire and create an anchor point and start a fire line in that area. At the time, the fire had been spreading northeastward, pushed primarily by winds. At around 2 p.m. that afternoon, NWS Flagstaff called the fire behavior analyst on the fire and informed them that an outflow boundary from a storm north of the fire would change wind direction to the southeast between 30 to 40 miles per hour, and the fire would then make a run at Yarnell. From their location, which you can see here, the Granite Mountain Hotshots could see that the fire was moving rapidly towards the town and it had not yet been evacuated. Then at around 3:30, NWS Flagstaff calls the fire behavior analyst again and tells them that the outflow boundary is heading almost due south and it would change wind directions to 40 to 50 miles straight south from what it currently was. Now, to give you an idea of what's going on at the time, the Granite Mountain Hotshots are in this area right here. This area right here is a local ranch with a significant defensible area that they had designated prior to going up as their safe area if they needed to evacuate. The fire is in this general area and the wind is pushing it at about 4 p.m. this direction, right? Now at this time, the Granite Mountain Hotshots are in this area and they are able to see this fire pretty clearly running towards the actual town itself. In fact, several members of the team texted family members photos of the fire running directly at Yarnell. At around 4 p.m., the Granite Mountain Hotshot superintendent radios the aerial support module and says, "Hey, we're headed to our evacuation zone down our escape route." They radio back, "Is everything fine?" And he says, "Yes, we're just moving." Now, what they were doing was they were in this area, they were walking down a road right along this ridgeline, headed towards the ranch right here. In order to get to their designated safe area, which is this ranch you can see right here, they had to travel across this ridgeline right here and then descend down into this box canyon right here across to the ranch. Now here's where things get a little fuzzy. It's not known exactly what their thought process was moving south into their safe zone because they had received the weather update and confirmed that they heard it. It's possible that the original change, because there was a change from northeast to southeast and then there would be another change to south. It's possible that they thought the change from the wind to the northeast to the southeast was the only wind change expected and that it just didn't go as south as expected. So as they're coming down this ridgeline right here, they drop down into this canyon right here. Now from the top of this ridgeline, the actual ranch looks incredibly close. Like this is street view from the top of the ridgeline. You can see the ranch right there circled in red. But in actuality, and I know this is really hard to see, it is a 3,200 foot walk from the top of that ridge all the way to the ranch, down particularly difficult terrain. In addition, when they dropped down into this canyon, they lost almost complete sight of the fire and any knowledge of wind direction because they are now protected by this portion of the canyon right here. And so, as soon as they dropped down, the wind continued to shift almost directly south. So at around 4:30 p.m., the winds are blowing 40 to 50 miles due south. The Granite Mountain Hotshots are in this canyon right here and cannot see the fire line rapidly approaching them because of this ridge line right here. As soon as they hit the bottom of the canyon, the fire pushed across the front of the canyon, trapping them inside while it started to push over the top of the ridge right here, while they desperately used chainsaws in an attempt to make an area to take shelter. Unfortunately, because of the topography, they had nowhere to go and their only option was to enter their fire deployment shelters as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, this area had not burned in a while, and temperatures in the area where they took shelter reached well over 2,000 degrees, melting their shelters and destroying them, rendering them useless, killing 19 members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots. Now, questions remain about the decision-making that they had made prior to the actual disaster itself. The last anyone knew, they were in the black area of the fire, which is the burned area of the fire. And when they informed the air support module that they were heading to their safe zone, he believed they were going to a different ranch that had already been in the black. He did not know that they were moving south to this particular ranch right here. Now, Theories abound as to why they did it, but I think the most likely reason that they did it is they saw the fire heading towards Yarnell. They didn't want to sit there in safety and watch a town that hadn't been evacuated burned, and so they made the decision to try and get to the ranch so they could regroup, and moved to the town to help with evacuations and help prevent the fire from actually entering the town itself. That explanation makes the most sense with firefighting culture, both structural and wildland. It is unlike firefighters to want to sit in a safe area and watch innocent people's things burn. It is very unlikely that anyone would have agreed with that decision. So they tried to disengage, get to an area where they could be able to get back in front of the fire and actively help prevent a further disaster.